And as your host, it is my honor to acknowledge we meet on the lands of the Oi Wurrung and Bon Wurrung people. I want to pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging, and extend those respects to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people with us this evening. It's fantastic to see so many people here for our special screening. I've been told this is a sellout, and I just find that kind of beautiful that we've sold out a theatre to watch a science documentary, and that I want to have an applause, please. It is no hyperbole to say that this is a cinematic event 50 years in the making. You're about to have a unique view of the mission to the moon, and you're about to see that on the world's largest screen. And even better, after the film, I'll do a quick Q&A and try to answer any questions you may have. But I thought I might anticipate a few of those questions with a couple of words about this incredible film. It's the creation of Todd Douglas Miller, a noted documentary maker, who wanted to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing in a way that had never been seen before. The key were 165 reels of perfectly preserved 65mm film at the National Archives and Records Administration, documenting Apollo for a long-lost project and since forgotten. These 65mm reels mean that this film looks better than any Hollywood blockbuster. Nothing is staged, nothing is green screened. It's the real roaring rockets in all their Technicolor glory. But more than just a space mission, we see a moment in history captured too. In the oppressive summer heat of 1969, America is a country in turmoil, a society in flux, an era never to be repeated. So we can all be grateful that the cameras were turned on the people as much as on the rocket. But that rocket. There's so many things I want to tell you about it. Taller than the Statue of Liberty, the Saturn V contained millions of liters of high explosive rocket fuel. It's essentially 9/10 a bomb. It's also constructed from 3 million separate, mostly handcrafted pieces by over 400,000 people from across the United States. And if any of those pieces go wrong, then that 9/10 of a bomb becomes a real one. Yet one fact not shared as much, but one I find just as impressive, and one you will be able to see thanks to the incredible high definition experience, is just how young all of those engineers were who took part in Apollo. The average age was just 28. In fact, listen out for one such young voice. It's a 24-year-old flight software specialist called Jack Garman, and it's during the descent to the moon. An alarm goes off. First it's 12:02, and then there's another alarm, and it's 12:01. Armstrong and Aldrin have no idea what those alarms are talking about. Everyone's scrambling to try and figure out. It turns out that it's the onboard computer. With a computing power less than my washing machine at home, it has become overwhelmed by the data and has essentially shut itself down. Now, thankfully, amidst the scramble to figure this out, from the back room comes running this young Jack Garman, who's able to tell his flight controller that it's okay, he's figured it out, and as long as the alarm doesn't repeat, Eagle is a go for landing. It's just one moment of high drama and teamwork that you may not even notice in this awesome scale of Apollo 11. Another fact that will come as a shock with this ultra high definition capture of rockets and faces is the diversity in mission control, or at least I should say, the lack of diversity. I want to set you all a challenge. Look at the 500 men in that firing control room at Cape Canaveral and see if you can find this single woman present. Her name is Joanne Morgan, an engineer who was responsible for 21 channels of communication and the health and welfare of all the monitoring systems for the Saturn V rocket. Hers is a story I hope will become better known. I'm sad to say that there are no non-white faces at all. This is a film that has perfectly captured and shared a moment of history, good and bad. These moments are made all the more impactful as Todd Douglas Miller tells the story entirely in the present tense, with no present-day talking heads reflecting back on past events. He was able to do this because NASA had a public affairs officer at the elbow of the flight director at Mission Control in Houston, whose job it was to explain to the watching media and the world what was happening. So these old public affairs officers have become our narrators in this amazing movie, Apollo 11. It is a